the subscribers count. Now I am coming with another idea. What if Naruto was in Demon Slayer world? I hope you all like this story. Okay, shall we begin? Naruto Uzumaki, the 7th Hokage, had lived a long and fulfilling life. After his return from being sealed, he had fought alongside Boruto and his allies, vanquishing the last remnants of the Shinjus and bringing peace to the world once more. Years passed and the once invincible Shinobi grew old. His golden hair turned silver, and his once boundless energy slowly faded. Time, the one enemy even he could not defeat, had finally caught up to him. One fateful night, beneath the peaceful sky of Konoha, surrounded by loved ones, Naruto Uzumaki closed his eyes for the last time. His body, tired from a life of battle, surrendered to the passage of time. And then there was only darkness. Naruto gasped, his lungs desperate for air. He felt small, weak, his body unfamiliar. His hands, once calloused from battle, were smooth and untouched by war. The first thing he noticed was the scent of nature, fresh trees, damp earth, and the distant sound of a flowing river. He wasn't in Konoha. He wasn't in the world he knew. He didn't remember who he was. The memories of his past life were locked away, buried deep within his soul. He had been reborn into a new world, but he had no knowledge of his past, no trace of the power that once made him legendary. His name in this life was Naruto Takahashi, the eldest son of a small charcoal-selling family in the mountains. His father was strong and hard-working, his mother gentle and kind. It was a peaceful life far removed from the battlefield. For years Naruto lived happily, unaware of the warrior he once was. But fate was cruel, and it would not allow him to remain ignorant for long. It started as any other night. The family had finished dinner, the warmth of the fire filling their small home. Outside, the cold mountain air whispered through the trees, peaceful and undisturbed. Then the peace shattered. A foul stench filled the air, sickly, rotten, unnatural. The sounds of the night fell silent, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Then, the door exploded inward, sending wooden shards flying. A monstrous figure loomed in the doorway, its glowing red eyes filled with hunger. Its skin was pale and lifeless, its fangs dripping with fresh blood. A demon. Naruto's father reacted instantly, grabbing the closest weapon he could find. "Naruto, take your mother and run," he shouted, positioning himself between his family and the monster. Naruto froze. Something deep within him stirred, an unfamiliar sense of dread, a forgotten instinct screaming at him to fight. But he didn't know why. He didn't understand. The demon lunged. His mother's scream pierced the night. Claws tore through her body, sending blood spraying across the floor. "Mom?" Naruto cried, but she had already collapsed. His father roared in rage, swinging his weapon at the demon. The blade sank deep into its flesh, but the creature merely grinned, its wounds healing in an instant. Then with one swift motion, the demon's claws ripped through his father's chest. Blood splattered across the wooden walls. His father staggered, coughing as crimson spilled from his mouth. But even as death loomed over him, he turned to Naruto, his eyes filled not with fear but love. "Run, Naruto," he whispered before collapsing lifelessly onto the blood-stained floor. Naruto froze. His body trembled. His heart pounded in his chest. His breath came in ragged gasps. His hands were covered in blood. His father's blood. Something inside him snapped. Pain ripped through his skull. His knees buckled as his vision blurred. Then, the memories came. A flood of images crashed through his mind. A hidden village among the trees. Konoha. A war that shook the heavens. The fourth great ninja war. A massive fox with burning red eyes. Kurama. A masked man with the power of a god. Madara. A rival, a brother, a friend. Sasuke. A young boy with blonde hair and blue eyes calling out to him. Boruto. Everything came rushing back. He was not Naruto Takahashi. He was Naruto Uzumaki. He had lived. He had fought. He had died. And now he was here. Naruto's eyes snapped open, no longer filled with confusion, only clarity. The air around him shifted, an unseen force pressing against the very fabric of reality. The wooden floor cracked beneath his feet as an unimaginable power surged through his veins. A deep, ancient voice rumbled in the back of his mind. "This took you long enough, brat." Kurama. The seal was gone. The barriers between them had shattered. The full force of his chakra, the very essence of his being, exploded outward. The demon, sensing the sudden shift in power, staggered back in fear. For the first time in this world, Naruto knew who he was. And for the first time he knew what he had to do. The demons of this world had made a grave mistake. They had taken his family. And now Naruto Uzumaki was going to take them all down. Naruto's journey in this new world had been filled with confusion and longing. Despite his extraordinary abilities, he could not understand how or why he had been reincarnated into this world. He could feel the remnants of his past life lingering inside him. The memories of his family, his Hokage position, and the bond with Kurama. Yet, none of that made sense in this strange new world. As he wandered, trying to find some kind of answer, he learned about the demons that plagued the land. The more he investigated, the more he realized how these demons slaughtered innocents, turning families into corpses and children into nightmares. He learned about the Demon Slayer Corps, a group of warriors dedicated to eradicating the demons, but there was no sign of the demon leader, no trace of the demon boss that might explain why he had been reincarnated here. Naruto couldn't shake the sense of loss, the same loss that had followed him in his past life. He had been orphaned once more. It made his heart ache in ways that even his old life couldn't compare to. He had been a protector, a leader, yet here in this new world he was once again fighting against a merciless force, demons that destroyed everything. He knew he had to act. Soon the time came for the final selection. Naruto had decided to join the Demon Slayer Corps. He needed a purpose, a reason to exist in this world. With no family, no home, he would fight to end the suffering that haunted the land. As he entered the mountainous region where the final selection was held, Naruto felt the familiar sting of loneliness but also the fire of his unyielding resolve. Meanwhile, Tanjiro Kamado, another boy with a tragic story, was struggling through the exam. The giant demon that had killed Urokadaki's previous students was attacking. Tanjiro was doing his best to fight back, but his strength was no match for the demon's terrifying might. Naruto, having already entered the area, sensed the chaos. His eyes glowed red as his chakra surged, the chakra of the nine tails swirling within him. In an instant he appeared beside Tanjiro, his presence a sudden, overwhelming force. Before Tanjiro could react, Naruto grabbed him by the arm and pulled him aside, out of the way of the demon's lethal attack. "Stay back," Naruto said briefly, his voice cold with the same determination he carried in his past life. Tanjiro barely had time to comprehend what had just happened when Naruto vanished again, reappearing before the giant demon, who had grown enraged by the sudden interference. The demon roared, charging at Naruto with full force, but Naruto's eyes flashed crimson red. The bloodlust emanating from him was palpable, enough to make the demon hesitate. It was then that the demon saw it. Kurama's visage appeared in Naruto's eyes, a terrifying sight that made the demon falter. In the next moment, Naruto formed a Rasengan infused with his chakra, flames igniting around it. Without hesitation he launched the massive fire-style Rasengan directly at the demon, obliterating it in an instant. The demon's screams echoed through the mountain before being swallowed by the blast. As the smoke cleared, Naruto stood still, his rage palpable. His hands clenched into fists as he stared at the remains of the demon, his eyes filled with a deep, dark resolve. "This world, just like my old one," he muttered, his voice cold with fury. "Demons devouring innocent lives. I'll end it all." Tanjiro, still shocked and awestruck by Naruto's strength, slowly approached. He had never seen anything like it. The sheer power Naruto wielded was overwhelming, and yet, there was a certain compassion hidden beneath the surface of his rage. "Thank you for saving me," Tanjiro said, his voice filled with gratitude. Naruto nodded silently, his gaze softening just a bit. Despite his overwhelming strength, he couldn't help but feel a connection to Tanjiro, a boy who, just like him, had experienced the pain of loss and tragedy. The two of them then proceeded to receive their Nichiren swords, marking the beginning of their journey together as demon slayers. For Naruto, it was not just a new path, it was a chance to make things right, to destroy the demons and free humans from the torment he had suffered, both in his past and this new world. As Tanjiro looked at Naruto, he could sense the immense power and sorrow that lingered within him. But he also knew that together they could face the future, whatever it may hold. Tanjiro was sent on a mission to investigate a series of disappearances caused by a demon. Unbeknownst to him, Naruto was also assigned the same mission through his Kasugai crow. As Tanjiro engaged in battle with the swamp demon, struggling to handle its ability to split into three and manipulate the ground like a swamp, Naruto arrived at the scene. With a single decisive strike, Naruto obliterated the demon in an instant. Tanjiro, catching his breath, turned toward Naruto, his eyes filled with amazement. "Naruto, that attack. What kind of technique was that?" he asked, clearly astonished by the sheer power behind Naruto's move. Naruto observed Tanjiro for a moment, sensing the purity and kindness in his soul. Unlike many others, Tanjiro did not harbor hatred for demons, only a deep sorrow for their existence. "Just something unique to me," Naruto replied vaguely, avoiding a direct answer. Tanjiro noticed Naruto wasn't the type to openly reveal his secrets, but he could tell Naruto wasn't a bad person. Instead, he seemed different, as if he had experienced pain and loss similar to his own. Recognizing Tanjiro's struggle with controlling Nezuko, Naruto decided to lend his help. Over time, he used his abilities to stabilize her demonic urges. While he couldn't completely cure her, he infused a small amount of Kurama's chakra into her, which helped her suppress her bloodthirsty instincts. One evening as they rested, Tanjiro looked at Naruto and hesitantly asked, "Naruto, can you teach me some of your techniques?" Naruto, sitting cross-legged while sharpening his Nichiren blade, let out a small chuckle. "Sorry kid, but my abilities are unique to me. No one else can use them." Tanjiro nodded, expecting such an answer, but Naruto continued. "But I can teach you some taijutsu. Strength and technique are just as important as your swordsmanship." Tanjiro's face lit up with excitement, and from then on, Naruto helped train him in hand-to-hand combat, refining his reflexes and movement. For Naruto, using a Nichiren blade was a new experience. While he had never used sword techniques in his past life, his chakra control allowed him to easily channel elemental energy through the blade. He quickly learned how to combine all 5 chakra natures, along with Kurama's chakra, making his sword strikes devastatingly powerful, even surpassing the lethal precision of Yorichi's sun-breathing techniques. After completing their mission, Naruto and Tanjiro sat down for a meal, finally able to relax. However, an ominous presence suddenly washed over them like a suffocating wave. Tanjiro immediately recognized it. His eyes widened in shock as he realized who it was. "Muzan?" he muttered, his voice trembling with both fear and rage. Without hesitation, Tanjiro dashed forward, intercepting Muzan Kibutsuji, just as in the original timeline. However, as Muzan attempted to slip away, Naruto's form flickered, his speed surpassing even Muzan's. Before the Demon King could react, Naruto landed a devastating blow, sending Muzan crashing through a nearby alleyway. The sheer force of the attack made Muzan's body tremble. As he looked up at Naruto, a terrifying memory resurfaced. The image of Yorichi Tsujikuni, the only warrior to have nearly killed him. For the first time in centuries, Muzan felt fear. Snarling, he swiftly ordered the lower moon demons to eliminate Naruto and Tanjiro before vanishing into the night. Shortly after the encounter, Naruto and Tanjiro met Tamayo and Yushiro, 2 demons who opposed Muzan. As soon as Tamayo laid eyes on Naruto, a look of curiosity flashed across her face. "There's something strange about you," she said, narrowing her eyes. Naruto simply smirked. "You could say that?" Curious, Tamayo inquired further. "Your energy, it's unlike anything I've sensed before. It's not demonic, yet it holds immense power. What is it?" Tanjiro, also wanting to know more, turned toward Naruto, remembering how his eyes glowed red during his fight with Muzan. Naruto sighed, crossing his arms. "It's called chakra. More importantly, I have something inside me. A being of great power." Tamayo and Yushiro exchanged glances, unsure whether to believe him. However, before they could respond, a deep, rumbling voice echoed in their minds. You really have a bad habit of running your mouth, Naruto. In an instant, Kurama manifested in Naruto's mindscape, appearing before them just as he had once done with Kawaki in Boruto's timeline. Tamayo and Yashiro froze in complete shock, their bodies trembling at the sheer power of the entity before them. What is that? Tamayo whispered, her voice barely audible. Kurama yawned, clearly unimpressed by their reactions. I am Kurama, the nine-tailed beast. And before you ask, no, I'm not a demon. I am far more than that. With that, Kurama disappeared back into Naruto's subconscious, muttering, don't go telling everyone about me. I'm going back to sleep. Tamayo and Yashiro, now fully convinced, looked at Naruto with a newfound understanding and fear. Tamayo took a deep breath. If what you say is true, then you may be the only one who can truly destroy Muzan. Hearing those words, Tanjiro clenched his fists, his determination igniting like never before. If Naruto truly had the power to defeat Muzan, then there was finally hope that his sister Nezuko could be cured. Tamayo then proposed an idea. If you can gather the blood of powerful demons, I may be able to create a cure for Nezuko. Tanjiro immediately agreed, vowing to bring the demon blood Tamayo needed. Just as in the original timeline, lower moon demons attacked Tamayo's hideout, attempting to kill them under Muzan's orders. However, this time the battle ended differently. With Naruto's overwhelming power and Tanjiro's refined skills, the demons were swiftly annihilated, unable to even put up a fight. As Naruto stood over the corpses of the defeated demons, his eyes burned with a fierce resolve. Muzan, I will end you. Okay guys, here I end this video. Hope you like this story and I will upload the parts. As usual, and if you don't subscribe, please subscribe and like the video. Okay, see you soon.